Welcome to Creator Tools. This is a new show sponsored by Contra. This is where we talk about the jobs of the future, the people who are creating them, and the people who are creating the tools we all use every single day. And so we're launching this show along with our Creator Tool Awards that we partnered up with our good friend, Dan Petty. And we're super excited to announce the winners on this show. But before we dive in, obviously, we want to introduce Dan and talk about the campaign that we created to kind of launch the show in the first place. So, everyone, you probably already know Dan Petty, the one and only, super famous in the design community. But I think across the board for creators, I think you're someone that a lot of people look up to. You have a very unique style, a very unique production style, and I have to say, we came to Dan asking for his help on helping us launch the Creator Tool Awards. And Dan basically came back to us with, I think it was a four-part video series. And we gave zero input, zero feedback. We're like, this is genius. Let's just run with it. So obviously, welcome to the show, Dan. I'd love to hear more, obviously, about your creative process and explain the inspiration behind the kind of viral AI takeover that took place last week.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me, Ben. Really appreciate it. Love everything you've been doing at Contra. I think it's cool that y'all are doing stuff for freelancers. Been a freelancer my whole career, so it means a lot to have companies like y'all, taking care of us. It's really cool. Yeah, I mean, this campaign was super fun. Y'all, you reached out, mentioned that you're going to do a Creator Tools Awards, and hey, we need to do something around it. I don't know what, but something. And what's funny is the first idea that really came to my mind was, man, it'd be cool if we did kind of like a game show type thing. Like that's where my head went first. But then immediately I was like, well, game show is going to be too hard. I started thinking about like set production and all this stuff. I'm like, that's just not going to be possible. And the next thing that came to my mind was, but I could do something where, I don't know why, but like just AI and like hostage thing just kind of came to my mind and just ran with it. I just started doing a script, just started writing all this stuff out. And the story just kept evolving from there. And I sent it to y'all, and y'all were like, "Yeah, it's cool. Let's do it." And I think that's why this campaign was so fun and kind of worked so well, was just because it was real, it was raw, and y'all just kind of let me have fun with it, and it was fun. Just that you get to be silly, it doesn't have to be over the top, kind of overproduced or anything like that. We just, me in here with a couple buddies, we're just trying to goof off and see how much fun we can have with this little idea. And I think it worked. I think it was fun.
It's crazy how creative you are, because I feel like, just to explain, when I say we gave no creative direction, I basically sent Dan a Twitter DM saying like, hey, we need to launch this thing. We're trying to celebrate the tools we all use to do our jobs. And Dan sent our team back a 17-minute video and a Notion doc. And I probably watched this video like 5 or 6 times. And I watched it with like multiple people on our team, and we're all like, holy shit, this is brilliant, because we're all living through this time where everyone, you see all the FUD on Twitter or X or whatever, people are saying like, oh yeah, AI is going to replace your job if you're a designer, if you're an engineer, if you're a creative. And I don't really think that's true. I think maybe the way that we create value is going to change. I mean, a lot of it's with like the kind of the content that you're producing. That's definitely a job of the future. But like AI is not replacing us. And I love the story arc where like, Dan's our hero and you get captured by AI, and the message at the end where like humans always win. It's such a brilliant and like timely message. And like I said, we literally had nothing to do with it. And it's like one of those moments where just like, let the artist work, we could not have come up with a better concept. And it was so fun how you made the polls, everything from the tweets to the messaging. It was all you. So I'm just curious, like, how do you come up with your concepts, and like, what is your creative process like?
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I wish I could do better at all this stuff is the acting part. Like, I cannot act for anything. But I also think, or at least this is the feedback I've gotten from other people, is that kind of helps make this even more special. That it's just me being myself, trying to act, when I can, but it's not it's not overly professional. It's not overly this. It's just Dan, the designer, the person, the real person in the community, just trying to like have fun and do stuff. So I think that works out, and that kind of helps the process as I'm thinking about this stuff. And when I do these scripts, when I do these video ideas, I don't have a lot of time, to be honest. I'm still designing full time. I'm still doing this other stuff. I'm still trying to be a good community member. I have, 4 kids and a wife. I'm trying to do all this stuff, and my time is very constrained. So I love that I can write down some ideas, and just kind of the first ones that come to my mind are usually they're the ones that people just kind of write off. Like, it's the first one, let's not do it, or it's too silly, or Me, it's just like, no, like, there's a reason that was the first thing I thought of, and how far can I go into that? Like my humor is just kind of, cheeky and light like that. It's, The Office is one of my favorite shows. So like that kind of humor, it's, I think I can get away with. And so the process is, it's simple. It's just, I literally will sit down. I'll go to a coffee shop or something. I like to leave my space when I need to do a brainstorm like that. So I'll go to a coffee shop. It's like a 30-minute drive, and I'll just sit there and just what comes to my mind. Usually I come up with the idea while I'm driving there. And then once I get to the coffee shop, I can just like go to town on it. By the time I leave the coffee shop an hour later, I have this idea. And I'll just expand on that. Because again, if I had 2 months or 3 months to come up with something, like, it's a whole different story, right? Your process is different. But we basically had like, I don't know, a few days or something like that to start filming. So that kind of changes your process a little bit. But, I like to just get it and go, and you can edit on, just like when you're designing, you have all these frames that you're constantly designing. New frame, push the designer further. New frame to push the design further. The same as with the script or with video. Just keep filming stuff. You kind of put together what works, as you go, and it keeps it fun. It keeps it super fun.
It's incredible to just watch the way you work, because you're right. Like, we had such a compressed timeline, I think, from start to finish to when you actually launched, including the conversations, including the planning, was all of like 3 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Then like,
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And it's just so crazy that you're able to come up with a concept and then produce at such a high level. I think even just like, I thought you were a great actor, by the way. And I'm not just saying that. It was very convincing.
We don't have to say that. No, I appreciate it. But
it's true. And I think everyone was bought in. Everyone was like sitting on the edge of their seat, like, what's going to happen? And then the production quality is insane. The way you got the lighting, the way you had the sound effects, like everything was just, it just worked. And I don't know, it just like, to be that creative with that, like with such limited resources, as I think it's something super rare. And I feel like you, in a lot of ways, like the design community looks up to you because of your authenticity, but also because of your talent. And I think you really are creating a job of the future. Like, you're creating your own path. And so I've met people at like different meetups. I think I was at the Webflow conference in New York last year, and there's someone who came up to me and was like, Dan Petty? And I was like, oh yeah, Dan's awesome. He's like, oh, I've always wanted to meet Dan. And like, you have like these very senior product designers that just look up to you and the things that you've done and the brand that you've created. I think like it's because of just this way you've been able to develop this character, this personality, in the way that you produce content. I think it's just so good. And you've been at it for a long time. So I'd love to hear more about kind of your path here, and then like where you want to go in the future.
Yeah, that's so cool. Thanks for sharing that, man. Like, it does mean a lot. It's always cool to know your work is appreciated. I never even knew I wanted to be a designer to begin with. I somehow landed in design school. I made it to a private design school. They only allowed like 100 people a year in there. So like, yeah, if I'm getting in, I'm going to go, sure. And this was forever ago. Like, I got some age on me. This was a while ago. And it was just, I quickly always had an entrepreneurial kind of aspect to me. It was always, you hear the stories all the time. The kid that creates his own car wash company, that does his own, goes around, cleans everyone's houses, mows everyone's lawns. Like that was that kid. I was doing everything, trying to just make some money. So that was mainly me, but I found design as a skill, basically anything creative as a skill to, as I got older to make that living. And once I realized how easy web design was for me, and at the time when everyone needed a website, still everybody needs a website, but 20 years ago, everybody needed a website, like there wasn't a lot to go around. So it was just easy to fall into that, landscape. But I can even remember back when I was in college doing design, trying to learn design, I was trying to create videos even back then. And this was before YouTube. YouTube was, I remember in my college class when YouTube came out and our professor was telling us about this thing he saw on you can now watch this certain video on YouTube. I was like, what is this thing? What are we talking about here? But I never got into it just because design was so, starting to take off. But if anyone's been following my career, design is the main thing, right? Web design specifically. And I always like to say, keep the main thing the main thing. Always want to make sure I'm making money doing web design. But if there's opportunities, I'm going to do product design. I'm going to do, video stuff. I'm going to host events. I'd spent 10 years doing Epic Currents, hosting events where we can go, all these designers and creatives go surfing and snowboarding and rock climbing, doing all this really cool stuff all across the country. Anything I will try to do just to stay creative, stay inspired, that's why I became a designer outside of the entrepreneur stuff, just because it's fun. We get to create stuff all day and get paid. What in the world? It doesn't make sense. My kids ask me what I do, and I'm like, I get to design stuff all day, get to create stuff all day. So now my kids, that's all they want to do. My dad just sits on the computer and he gets to draw pictures all day. You're not wrong. And now that I work for a gaming company, they're like, oh, he just plays games all day. I'm like, well, you're not wrong. And now they see the video stuff I get to do, with people like you and some other folks. And that just, it keeps reminding me why we're doing this. Because it's so much fun, and thankfully there's a paycheck involved with it too, because we have to make money. But
yeah, for sure. I think part of the secret to your success is that you are having fun and that you truly love what you do. And I think people can pick up on that, and it really, really shows in your content. It really, really shows in your Twitter posts. It really, really shows in the videos you make. And I think that's rare in a world where there's a lot of shock value. There's just a lot of people who are essentially instigating fights to get clicks and saying things that are simply, I don't know, it's pure clickbait, right?
Totally.
You actually come to the community and you lead the community from a place of, hey, let's bring in positivity. This is fun. We're lucky we can even do this as a career. And that energy is pretty infectious. And I think that's why you've built such a huge following. I think people just love that. It's such a breath of fresh air when everything else is maybe it's too conflict oriented, or it's too commercial, or whatever it is. My theory is that community led content like this is the future of marketing. Paid doesn't really work anymore. You have to have something that's authentic in the community to actually resonate. And I don't think that people are realizing that yet. Maybe they've started to, maybe influencer marketing has become a thing, but it's more like TikTok style. It's more like Instagram style. It hasn't really hit this new type of art form that I think you're pioneering with this, these long form skits. It's brilliant. I think the other comparable would be a sandwich video where they really made commercials fun, but I feel you're pioneering your own brand in that same league. And I'm really excited to see it evolve. So I'm curious, where do you see the future going? What do you want to do in your career as you continue to kind of create your own path and create your own job?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a all that stuff you said is super exciting. You know, I see a future in this video stuff, you know, whatever we want to call it. I don't even know what to call it. I've been trying to describe it as like just video promotion type thing, because also commercials, but it's like, but is it a commercial? Like, you know, people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on commercials, and I'm not getting hired to do that kind of stuff yet. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Not yet.
But it's like when I see commercials and videos, promotions and ads on social media, you can clearly see what's just a paid promotion that nobody cares about from an influencer or whatever. It feels so forced and so you clearly don't use the product, right? You can clearly tell, which is nothing wrong with that. That's fine if that's the thing they want to do. And then you have the companies that are spending, you know, the big bucks on this hot, huge production, and it's a commercial that nobody has any connection with at all, and it's just the same repetitive, you know, idea that everyone's doing on every single thing. You go watch any commercial on TV right now or on YouTube, you see the same thing over again. It's just a different product in the place.
Yeah.
What I like about this, what I'm trying to do, is it's actually me in the community, and I would love to where it's not just me. Like I can get other designers or really well-known developers or whoever to be featured in the commercial, right? So it's like actual people from the community promoting to the community about the product. Like to me, it makes so much sense, and I think it'd be a fun path to go down. So I'm thankful for companies like you that are, you know, at least let me explore that, and it seems like it works pretty great. So I feel like there's a future in that for me. You know, right now I'm on the design side. I really love the work I'm doing right now. I'm working with a game company called Hytopia, and it's just so much fun. I get to do game interfaces and like just all this really cool stuff. And I was like, every kid dreamed to design a game interface, you know, of some sort. It's super fun. But outside of that, I have this huge passion for community, as I'm sure y'all could probably tell. What that means, I have no idea as far as like career wise, but I know I want to do something for designers and creatives. I just don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what. I just know I will always be here trying to do something, trying to push things further. Yeah, there's whether for designers or freelancers, like, but those worlds combined, that's where my passion is. Just, you know, I had people along the way help me. I want to make sure I'm paying it back and helping other people somehow. I don't know what, but yeah, I love it. That's as far as I know. Just hope I wake up tomorrow, you know, like how long, you know, how long we keep going, watching my kids grow up and everything. So that's kind of where my focuses are.
I love it, man. Yeah. I feel like it's got to be something with more content creation. You're just so talented at this, and you've had such an impact on even Contra's community as well. With this like Creator Tool Awards campaign, it's just so well executed. You're so easy to work with. You're so creative. I feel like there's definitely a future here. And I know that like there's just going to be more and more content asks coming your way. I have a feeling as more companies realize you have to tap into the community, you have to do things that are more native and more authentic.
I appreciate that.
So I wanted to switch gears a bit, talk about the Creator Tool Awards and kind of the reason why we did this. So as a background, we surveyed over 500,000 independent professionals and potentially more, because a lot of these different brands and people from your network came in and like filled out our survey. We wanted to understand like what are creative, like independent creatives, what are they using to run their business? What tools do they want to use to run their business? Where are the trends? What's coming up? What are the up and coming tools that we want to focus on? And we kind of focus on a couple of different categories. So we have design, engineering, community management, no code, marketing, writing, social media, video and podcasting, blockchain and Web3 and animation. And we surveyed a lot of independent professionals who use some of these tools or have heard of these tools and they want to use them. And so we have like 4 main categories for prizes. We have the fan favorite. This is the most popular tool in the category. We have the top tool. This is the tool that was mentioned the most across all categories. And then we have up and coming. This is the tool that more and more people in each category, like design, they want to use. And then all of the honorees are tools that got tons of mentions, but they might still be earlier in their days or earlier in their age, and they're coming up. So anyone who got an honoree, they were mentioned by a lot of independents, but didn't quite edge out some of the big players. So I think we should just walk through maybe some of the categories and announce the winners. I think this is what most people want to know.
So, all right, the Creator Tools Awards for the design category. This is going to be exciting. We've got the fan favorite, Figma. I mean, of course, I think we're all using Figma right now. We live in that tool, so of course it's going to be a fan favorite. If not Figma, you should be worried if we weren't a fan favorite, but you are. Why creators love Figma? Let's see what somebody had to say. They said, I love how easy Figma is to use and how quickly I can design with it. It is pretty fast. It is pretty fast. I love the global systems for color, fonts, and components. I like the fact that they added animations to it and the preview function for presenting my designs to clients. I know a lot of people that love the animations and things for Figma. I personally don't do any of the prototype or anything. I just don't have time. I design something that's got to be built like today. It's always the way it is. But it's so cool that they have that in there, and the components and things, your auto layouts and everything it is pretty powerful, especially if you're building huge design systems and things like that. It's super cool. And Figma I use Photoshop forever. Figma is so easy. It is so easy and lightning fast. Like that's just why it took off, man. That's why it took off. So that's cool. That's exciting. The top tool is the Adobe Creative Cloud. So everything under that, Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, all the goods right there. After Effects, Lightroom, InDesign, all the good stuff, all the classics. Why creators love Adobe Creative Cloud? Let's see. With Adobe Creative Cloud, I have an all-encompassing solution for all my graphic design needs. It's essential to my workflow. Yep. I mean, it's true. It's got everything. Literally everything. It's all there. I'm in Adobe Premiere a lot, Photoshop a lot still. I think I use Photoshop almost every other day still. And then for up and coming, we've got Canva. And this is definitely up and coming. Like, this is the right category for this, because all I hear about is Canva, right? I can go to the grocery store and say I'm a designer, and someone's like, oh, I've used Canva before, which is like cool. Like, no, and I'll tell people like, oh yeah, well I use Figma. They're like, okay, cool. I don't know what that is, but I know what Canva is. And my kids, my oldest is 10. She uses Canva. She uses Canva in school. They don't use they don't use the Adobes or anything like that. They're using Canva. It is up and coming. It is definitely up and coming. It's super exciting. Why creators love Canva? Canva is an all-in-one tool essential for solopreneurs. It provides a simple way to share projects with clients or individuals less familiar with design without the need for complex programs. The honorees for the design category. So we've got Spline, Rive, Framer, Kittle, an Affinity Designer, and Modify.
I mean, I definitely could have seen some of these coming, but I totally agree with you on Canva as like an up and comer. Like, we use Canva internally at Contra for all of our presentation, for our social media assets. And it's true, like outside of the tech bubble that we live in, like no one really knows about like Figma. No one really knows about Adobe Creative Cloud. Like when they think design, they think Canva. And there's something powerful that company has done to really like, it's like the rise of the rest. Like the entire world is kind of operating in this. And I think they hit $2 billion in revenue, which means they're actually bigger than a lot of the companies that like, it's just crazy. So definitely, I mean, I can see why they're up and coming.
Like I bet if some younger people, like the younger generation, and maybe an older, I don't know, definitely the older generation, if they got the hand on this vote, Canva more likely would be the fan favorite here. Like seriously, it's all I ever hear about. It's all I ever hear about. And I live in Tennessee now. I used to live in San Francisco and in California. Now I'm in Tennessee. Nobody knows what most of these things are. But for some reason, they all know Canva. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's powerful. All right. So up next, we have our community winners. So community management. How do independents manage their communities? What tools are they using for their clients? And so our fan favorite was Luma. So I'm a huge fan of Luma. It's got to be one of the best designed event tools out there. I get invited to tons of Luma events. Huge fan of Victor, their founder. And I just think like they've nailed everything from the design to the UX to the branding. And it's just so easy. It's really blown up over the last couple of years. So congrats to Luma. That's huge. So definitely the fan favorite there. So the top tool, the tool that was mentioned the most across our entire survey was Circle. And so also a huge fan of Circle. I know a lot of people run their communities on Circle. I know the Framer communities on Circle. There's tons of communities that I've been a part of that are on Circle. And I think they're exploding. I think their CEO just announced they hit like $20 million in revenue and they're growing. So they keep growing. So it's an online community platform, allows creators and brands to build and grow communities. Imagine like if you're a brand, if you're a platform, you can easily spin up a community pretty quickly. Like for Contra, when we started, we had a Slack community. It didn't really work that well. There was a lot of gaps. It was hard to like keep things organized. But imagine you basically have like your own Twitter, but it's just for your community. It's kind of crazy. So congratulations, Circle. Very, very much deserved. And then up and coming is Threado. So Threado is a web-based project management and community management platform that uses AI to help teams and community leaders manage their projects and communities. So I haven't heard of this tool, but it's cool to see that it's up and coming. It got a lot of votes. So really cool, Threado AI. Definitely interested to see where they're going. And then the honorees for the community category were Orbit, Kajabi, Help Scout, Intercom, and Common Room. So Intercom's huge. So I'm surprised more people didn't list them, but I think they're probably adopted more at the company level versus like independents using Intercom as well. So really cool to see that category as well. So no code, over to you, Dan.
All right. On the no code, here we go. The winner of the fan favorite for no code is Framer. Why creators love Framer. Framer's UI is calming and easy to use. If I'm going to spend hours working and looking at a product, I'd like it to be enjoyable. It's intuitive and offers an unbelievable amount of ability to build and design the sites that I like to make. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Framer. It does look really, really nice, and it is very easy to use. It's cool to see them. Like they're blowing up everywhere. I feel like everyone became a Framer template expert overnight. It's all you see on Twitter these days. It's pretty cool. I know a lot of people, making some good money with Framer. So that makes a lot of sense. The top tool for no code is, of course, Webflow. Webflow is the most powerful tool I've ever used. I agree. Thousands of dollars projects can be done in just a week or two. This is insane. It allows me to create fully custom and accessible websites for myself and my clients. Still, I mean, when clients reach out for me to design their website, they ask for Webflow. I mean, it is what it is. It's a top tool. So it's the first thing they ask for. I'm like, Dan, do you do Webflow? Yep, I got you taken care of. Love Webflow. Let's see. And the up and coming for no code is Flutterflow. I don't think I've heard of Flutterflow. Flutterflow is an incredible tool for someone with a sparse coding background. They're always releasing new features and constantly updating the tool. That's exciting. Love developers that constantly update.
So someone from the Flutterflow team, I think it's Will actually, he recreated the Rabbit R1, that AI handheld thing. Yeah. He basically recreated an iOS app that had the exact same functionality, still had the AI capabilities in Flutterflow, and it went viral on Twitter. What? So he built the whole thing, like even the skin and everything, it looked exactly like the Rabbit R1, but he made it for the iPhone in Flutterflow and it just blew up. So I think they're gaining a lot of steam. I'm a huge fan of the Flutterflow team. They basically allows you to build like super complex apps with like a visual interface. It's really, really interesting. So
that's so
yeah,
awesome.
I think definitely a tool to pay attention to.
And these no code things, they're brilliant. Like I can design all day long, but I can't write a single line of code.
Yeah.
It makes my head hurt. I know a lot of other creatives are the same way. These no code tools now, man, they make our life so much easier. It's pretty incredible. I'm going to have to try Flutterflow. All right. So the honorees here are BuildShip, Bravo Studio, Wix, Bubble, Rayloom, Instant, Web Studio, and WordPress.
Wow.
WordPress still hanging around.
Yeah, times have changed. I mean, WordPress used to be the number one. I think they're still like 40% of the internet. So
they have to be like they're it's honestly like if it's not like some kind of custom code thing, it's they want Webflow or they want WordPress still. I'm like, WordPress? But yeah, it's pretty cool. I made many WordPress websites over the years. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that was our no code winner. So congrats to all the no code winners. So we're going to move on to marketing and CRM. So for marketing and CRM, this is super interesting. A lot of, independents require either a skill to implement a CRM or they require a CRM for their own kind of use case. They need skills for marketing for their clients, but they also need to market their own skills to get new business. So this is a super interesting category. So the fan favorite for marketing and CRM was Flowdesk. So Flowdesk is a marketing tool. It helps businesses and entrepreneurs create email campaigns and sales pages. Super cool. It offers email marketing templates, digital sales tools, and analytics. It's really cool to see independents using this tool. So, why do creators love Flowdesk? I love that Flowdesk is simple, thoughtfully made, incredibly powerful, and easy to use. So it sounds like, this ease of use thing is huge, really big for independents. I totally see it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, congrats to Flowdesk for being the fan favorite. And so now our top tool in marketing and CRM is HubSpot. So, I mean, that's not that surprising. We use HubSpot internally at Contra. So powerful. Such a robust ecosystem. They're growing like crazy. They're a massive, massive company. Everyone knows HubSpot. Everyone loves HubSpot. So, but why do creators love HubSpot? So HubSpot is advanced in UX, UI, automation capabilities, and even marketing education. So it sounds like there's a lot of capabilities that HubSpot can do that really kind of, fit the needs of independents. So super cool. Congratulations, HubSpot, on winning top tool. And then finally, for up and coming, I mean, this is pretty obvious. I definitely saw this one coming, but ConvertKit. I'm seeing so much love for ConvertKit on Twitter, on X. But if you don't know, ConvertKit is an email marketing platform designed for online entrepreneurs, bloggers, podcasters, and other creatives. It allows users to automate email marketing, collect leads, and sell digital products directly from the platform. That's pretty powerful. So why do creators love ConvertKit? I appreciate the simplicity and agility and how many possibilities are open for me as a creator using ConvertKit. So sounds like simplicity, ease of use, these things are super important. It helps people get their jobs done without having to think too much. I mean, it makes sense. I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah, I use ConvertKit for my newsletter. Another cool thing about ConvertKit is I think you can still do it. I haven't done it in a year or two, but you can sell stuff on there too, which is like, oh man, it's so like I made like a marker kit or thing for Figma and, put it for sale and people can buy it. I mean, ConvertKit's amazing. And they have one of my favorite designers, Charlie Prangley, one of the greatest designers. She's on YouTube too. She makes incredible content. ConvertKit's really great company. Good people there.
Damn, that's high praise coming from Dan Petty himself. So congrats on ConvertKit. Maybe you're not as up and coming. Maybe you've already got maybe you deserve the top spot. Who knows? Cool. And so honorees, we have Creator IQ, Contentful, Klaviyo, SEMrush, Adio, ClickUp. These are all great tools. I've used a handful of these. So congrats to the winners. Congrats to the honorees. And then I'm going to pass it over back to you, Dan, for the writing.
Writing. All right. The fan favorite, Copy.ai. Okay. Let's jump in here and see. Copy AI is a AI powered writing tool. All these AI things, man, they're creeping up. It helps businesses create content faster. And it offers over 90 templates and tools. Wow. That's and you do blog posts, wizards. Blog post wizards. It's like blog posts and wizards. Okay. What's a wizard? Essay builders, Instagram captions, and I mean it looks like a little bit of everything. Interface looks nice and clean, super cool. That is a fan favorite.
I think they were like the first mover in the space too. Like this was like, I think when GPT-2 was out, really? That's when Copy AI was like, hey, we're going to make this thing that basically writes for you. And so now like ChatGPT is all the rage, you know, they've been around for forever. And so their founder's super smart. I know they were like one of the first movers and they got really big, really quick for having that kind of first mover advantage. So it's no surprise that independents love Copy AI.
That's awesome. Top tool, Grammarly. Grammarly is a digital writing tool that uses more AI. Here we go. Artificial intelligence to analyze writing and suggest improvements. I mean, AI is taking over, right? It's not. Here's the thing. People think it's taking over your jobs. It's not. It's just another tool to use to make you even better.
Yeah.
It's that totally simple. Agree. It really is. If you don't start to use it, I mean, maybe your work slows down a little bit. I don't know. Who knows? It's still early. It can check your grammar, spelling, punctuation, all this stuff. Lots of cool stuff. Why creators love it? Grammarly excels at what it promises. It's a big statement. It refines your writing by catching typos and errors with greater accuracy and speed than a human proofreader. For the up and coming Content Harmony. Let's see what it says about Content Harmony. Content Harmony is a content marketing software and services company that helps content teams create high-performing content marketing programs. All right. Why creators love Content Harmony? I'm intrigued by Content Harmony's content planning and optimization functionalities, which could help streamline content creation workflows. Lots of uses of the word content there. But that's all the rage these days. Content. You got to have it. So looking at some keywords right there. Let's look at the honorees here for writing. We've got Merlin, Jasper, Ahrefs.
I think it's like Ahrefs.
Ahrefs.
Yeah.
Oh, like Ahrefs?
I don't know. I guess the A silent or Ahrefs. I don't know. It's like an SEO tool.
Okay. Ahrefs. Surfer SEO. I'm excited. That just is a cool name because I love surfing. And Notion down there as an honoree. You know, a lot of people that use Notion.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised it didn't win.
I'm actually very shocked.
Yeah.
I'm personally not a Notion user, but almost I feel like everyone around me is. My favorite writing tool ever, though, obviously it's not on this list. And I don't even know if it's still in action, was Dropbox Paper. Dropbox Paper was so ahead of its time. It was so good. I don't know why it dropped off, but maybe it's still around. I don't know. Did that make a mention in any of this stuff?
No.
Do you know?
That's so strange.
Yeah. It was classic.
All right. So we're now moving on to social media. And the fan favorite, the winner in the social media category, again, Canva. I mean, not surprising. Like I said, like internally at Contra, all of our social assets, we'll use Figma sometimes for some of the complex stuff, but Canva takes the cake. We have our brand library in there. It's super easy. So, you know, Canva has gotten 2 awards so far, but this time they were the fan favorite. So congrats, Canva. So top tool, I mean, this is pretty obvious too, CapCut. Everyone's using CapCut, you know, for their social media videos. It's a video editor, you know, like everything you need to do to make quality videos. I think their mobile product is the one that's like super popular, but why do creators love CapCut? CapCut is probably my biggest lifesaver because it makes creating content that can be cross-posted so much easier. Once again, easy wins the day. I know CapCut is just such an easy tool to use. And then finally, up and coming for our social media professionals, our independents who are monetizing social media, Adobe Express. So I haven't used Adobe Express personally, but it looks pretty cool. So it's a free app that allows users to create content for social media and other platforms using a variety of tools. Okay, cool. So it looks like a pretty easy tool to use. Like I said, I haven't used it personally. Dan, have you used it?
Nope. Never used it at all.
Yeah, not yet. But, cool. A lot of people do. So it's clearly up and coming for this use case. And then finally, honorees, we have Flare AI. Super cool tool. I follow this founder on Twitter. She's really brilliant. We have Mega Creator, Buffer, that makes a lot of sense. Later, and then Creator IQ. Cool. So congrats to all the winners in the social media category. And then now we have video and podcasting. I'll pass it over to you, Dan.
All right, here we go. Video and podcasting category. Our fan favorite here is Pika or Pika.
I think it's Pika. I don't know, actually. I think it's Pika.
I love that name. It sounds cool. It's just fun to say. Pika. And I love that. I love the little graphic you got there, Pika. All right, let's see. Pika is a free web-based artificial intelligence AI. Man, it's there. It's everywhere. Tool that turns text and images into short video clips. Users can input text prompts such as a marketing message or narrative and select images to animate to complement the text. Pika's AI technology then synchronizes the text and images to create a video. That sounds amazing.
It's pretty. They had a crazy demo that basically came out on Twitter. Everyone was like, they're like, oh shit, this is crazy. And then Sora came out and everyone's like, oh, whoa, this is crazy. But it's cool to see that independents and creatives are still, seems like they prefer Pika because Sora was on the list and, it wasn't the top tool. Or it wasn't the fan favorite, sorry.
Man, this AI stuff, it's unbelievable. I actually use this next tool, this top tool we're about to say. I use this a lot. I used it in this campaign that we just did. I used it. I've been using it for a while. Descript. I love it. It's so simple and easy to use. I love their video campaign that they did with Sandwich Video. Like that was just classic. If you ever seen it, so good. Descript is an AI-powered platform that helps users record, edit, and publish podcasts and videos. Descript's core feature is that users can edit audio and video files by editing the transcribed text, which is when you use it, it's just like magic. It's so cool. Which is intended to make editing, our favorite word now, besides AI, is easy. It makes it easy. Just as easy as typing text. This feature is designed to save time and make content creation more accessible for creators of all skill levels. It is absolutely every word of that. It is so cool. I remember the first time I used it years ago. It was like just amazing. And the up and coming is Butter. And Butter helps you create better videos faster. It's an all-in-one video editor for modern brands, powerful and easy to learn. Easy, there's our word again. And designed to supercharge your marketing team. You can explore and remix templates from the world's best brands. Wow, this looks absolutely incredible.
It's pretty wild. I feel like they work with a lot of these like in-house creative teams at like Goat, Italic, Seed, all of these like kind of traditional brands, and they basically test the product there, but it helps you create like marketing creative, but like really crisp, like the really good stuff that you see on like Instagram. Helps you create that like pretty quickly. And like I actually met their founder. I think it's like a 3-person team, and they create. It's this crazy product. I don't know. I'm excited for them to get out of private beta, but I think a lot of the kind of people who use Butter are all independents. They're all freelancers. And so cool. Using it to like really like supercharge their workflow. So I'm really excited to see.
So it's private beta. We can't play with it yet.
Not yet.
Oh man, I was about to say, I'm going as soon as we get done with this podcast, I'm going to go play with this tool. I need this, but it's private beta. Back to the honorees for video and podcasting. We've got CapCut, Simplecast, Wondershare, Filmora, Riverside, and Sora. Congrats to the honorees and all the winners of the video and podcasting category.
It's crazy. Like I really thought Sora would be more popular than Pika, but clearly Pika's winning with independent community. That's like really surprising.
Yeah, they must be putting out some really cool content online too.
I think so. All right, and for the final category, to wrap it up, animation. So the winner for the fan favorite and animation is Spline. Of course, it's Spline. Spline is crazy. So if you don't know Spline, it's a browser-based 3D design tool. So you can create interactive web experiences. You can create 3D animations. It's for designers, architects, game developers, whatever. It's just nuts. It's so powerful, and their team is so smart. So I'm not surprised that Spline is a fan favorite. And so why do creators love Spline? So recently, my favorite tool has been Spline. It has made making quality 3D stuff so easy for me, and has huge potential going forward in the web 3D landscape. Spline rekindled my love for 3D without waiting for ridiculously long render times. Oh, we all remember that, right? You use Blender or whatever, Cinema 4D, and it's like, all right, yeah, I'll come back in a couple hours for this like 2-second render. Spline is sick. So, Dan, I don't know. Yeah. 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 They're going to blow up. Yeah. They're going to blow up for sure. I think like it's just only a matter of time, especially with all like the AR stuff, all the VR stuff that's going to come. It's going to keep coming. It's going to keep getting bigger. Like Spline's really well positioned to kind of take over the space. So congrats, Spline. You're the fan favorite in the animation space. Super cool to see. So our top tool got the most votes across all the categories was Jitter. So Jitter is a fast and simple animation tool on the web. Fast and simple. There we go. Animate all your interfaces, mobile apps, websites, landing pages, micro interactions, and content. Social media, videos, ads, export as a video, GIF, or Lottie. What? That's crazy. You can create your motion design system, hand off the animation specs to the developers, makes it super easy. So why do creators love Jitter? So Jitter is fantastic, incredibly user friendly, clean, and allows you to make great animations quickly without a cumbersome learning curve. So it sounds like they're democratizing animation, which is huge, and it's web based. So yeah, it's no surprise. Wow, Jitter, independents love Jitter. So yeah, 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 yeah. So cool. Yeah. Well, definitely. Congrats, Jitter, on the top tool. And then finally, up and coming. The up and coming winner for animation is Rive. Definitely a company that is up and coming. They're exploding right now. I actually saw the Rive team at GDC here in San Francisco. I went to their booth. This tool is crazy. Like you have car companies, you have game developers, you have product designers, you have web designers. Everyone's using Rive. It's this new way to create these kind of like 2D animations that you can pretty much embed anywhere. So Rive is a free real-time 2D animation tool that allows designers and developers to create interactive animations for any platform. It's nuts. I want to say that like Unity was there, like Unreal was there, and I think Rive just like integrates perfectly in games. I know there's like huge car companies using Rive for like their dashboard interfaces. It's nuts. This is like a very powerful tool, and they're definitely just getting started. So why do creators love Rive? I love the clean, high performance output of Rive and its multi-state animation system. I know they just added audio. I saw I follow their CEO on Twitter, and he's always posting these cool demos. They added audio now. It's interactive. It's crazy. Yeah, Rive is definitely up and coming, and I have a feeling this is going to be one of the most talked about tools this year, next year, and years to come. Very, very cool. So congrats to Rive for winning the up and coming award for their Creator Tools Awards for the animation category. Congrats. And then finally, the honorees in this category, linearity, super cool tool. Adobe After Effects. I mean, that's what everyone's coming after, right? After Effects is what people want to replace. Procreate, people love Procreate. Fable, Unreal Engine, Lottie Files. A lot of these are like fantastic tools, but it's interesting to see what tools independents are using today to run their business. And I wonder if that's an indicator of like what the rest of the industry is going to use tomorrow. Who knows?
But it's just cool. They're all kind of trying to take, like what we all used to do in After Effects, just making it easier online. Like, I know it's so cool. But it's cool to still see After Effects mentioned up here because After Effects is very powerful, but it is complicated.
For sure. So complicated.
It's cool to see Lottie Files up here. They're integrating with Figma, which, makes things really fun and easy in Figma. And just another note about Rive. Follow all the Rive animators. They are so fun to follow. They're always posting really cool content. Even their website is amazing, like the buttons that you roll over and everything. And I'm trying to think of. I think that I might get this wrong, but the Twitter handle is Draws Good. He is a animator there. He's just constantly putting out the most amazing animations, and he might do some. Maybe he at least shares some tutorials sometimes. I think just a good person. But very inspiring to see their stuff. But I really love Rive. It's super cool.
Such a powerful tool. Yeah. Well, that's a wrap. I mean, we went through all the categories. Congrats to all the winners. Dan, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much for helping us with the campaign, being the face behind the Creator Tool Awards. I mean, we owe you one. Super excited to see you at Config and everything you're doing there. But is there anything else you want to tell the audience before we part ways?
No, thanks for saving me. Thanks for voting. Yeah, I was about to. I don't know what it was going to do to me, but it wasn't looking good. And I don't know if I should be upset with y'all or not for making me eat cat food. But I actually had to eat all the food options. So I had to eat the dry cat food, wet cat food, dry dog food, wet cat food, wet dog food. We had to film it all because depending on what y'all voted. So I went through some torture eating that stuff, but it's worth it. It was worth it. Yeah, no, nothing else to say except, I just appreciate everybody, just participating in community stuff like this. I think it's super fun. So what it's all about. If anyone's working on another tool like this that might be in the category next year, good luck. There's lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
There's a lot of companies here I haven't even heard of yet. They're new. That could be y'all next,
Awesome. Well, that's a wrap. That's episode 1 of the Creator Tool Show. Thanks again for tuning in and thanks again for voting. And yeah, Dan, you're awesome. Can't wait to see what you do next. And hopefully we got another collab cooking up.
Hope so. Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
See y'all.